restart. I know this is cheating, Darren, don't get mad at me. My blood pressure is incredibly elevated. If I keel over, someone call 911. Alrighty. 5 years ago, I finished my first marathon at White Rock here in Dallas. It took me 4 hours and 12 minutes to finish the 26.2 mile race. That's 9 minutes and 38 seconds per mile. When I crossed the finish line, I felt like crap. My legs hurt, I could hardly walk, I was pale as a ghost, and yet the feeling of crossing the finish line was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. I wanted to do it again, and again, and again. My fourth marathon was in Austin. It took me 3 hours and 29 minutes. I'd shaved 41 minutes off White Rock 2 years prior. It was at that point in Austin that I thought, maybe I could qualify for the prestigious Boston Marathon. Mr. Toastmaster, members, guests, today, I'm going to try to inspire you. Don't worry, like Curtis said, it will not be to run a marathon, but rather, I would like for you to adopt a philosophy that has become near and dear to my heart, one that guides my decision making, and one that I hope becomes evident throughout this story. After Austin, I decided to set my sights on Chicago. In order to qualify for Boston at my age, you have to run a 26.2 mile marathon in 3 hours, 4 minutes, and 59 seconds. That's 7 minutes and 3 seconds per mile. So I'd set my mind on Chicago. That's going to be the place where I qualify. That's going to be the place I do it. So in 2011, I showed up feeling ready. I was on point to qualify, and at the very end, I ran out of energy. I missed my time. I hit 3:10:52. When I crossed the finish line, I was disappointed. I thought I was going to qualify. I thought I was ready. But ultimately, the excitement of running with 35,000 other people in downtown Chicago, coupled with the fact that I had posted my best time ever, trumped most of my disappointment, as you can see. I decided to take that encouragement, take all the promising things that happened from that race, and come back the next year. And I did. I came back stronger than I had ever been as a runner, faster than I had ever been as a runner, and yet it happened again. I came up short and ran out of gas at mile 23, posting an almost identical time. This one killed. This was devastating. Something's got to give. I didn't know what it was. My fitness level was adequate. So I decided to make some fundamental changes to my nutrition and the way I ate, and I set my sights on where it all started, White Rock, now called the Dallas Marathon. I thought, how cool would it be to qualify for Boston in my own backyard of my home city? How poetic would it be to qualify at the place where my own passion for running started? At the beginning of the race, I felt great. I felt fantastic, but then halfway through, something just didn't feel right. My legs felt like bricks. My energy was completely depleted. I pulled out at mile 21. Did not finish. My third attempt at Boston was anything but a charm. So there I was, at the end of 2012, 0 for 3 on Boston qualifying attempts. I thought to myself, I gotta take a break. I gotta give my legs and quite honestly my willpower a little bit of rest. My coach helped me develop a plan for 2013, which included going to Newport, Oregon in June. This was a really interesting race. Smaller, beautiful scenery, flat, fast course, perfect for qualifying. I'm primed, I'm ready to go. And then again at mile 23, I started walking. And then I saw my parents, and they gave me a mental boost. But I felt this excruciating pain in my legs. I had to walk again. And then I can remember it vividly, and I think it's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I made a decision, I made a choice right then and there, right after seeing my parents, to push through the pain and tap into an area of mind over matter that I had only read about in books. I started running again. And with 1 mile to go, I looked down at my watch and thought, I'm about to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And I did. A 3:03:37. That'll go down as one of the most special weekends of my life. Not only did I qualify for Boston, but I asked Jesse's dad permission to marry his daughter that very weekend. Flash forward to September of 2013, when qualifiers of the marathon get to submit their applications to the Boston Athletic Association. You see, not every qualifier gets in. They only have limited spots available. What does that mean? You rank people based on how much they beat their qualifying standard by, and you draw a cutoff line. The day I found out was the day we had Gary Kelly in Toastmasters a year ago. Wow. I called my mom after the meeting and I was so stoked. I said, Mom, it went great. While I was on the phone, I heard an alert. And it was an email that came in from the Boston Athletic Association informing me that I would not be running in 2014. I had missed the cutoff by 15 seconds. Did I qualify? Yeah. But I knew, my family knew, my friends knew, qualifying is one thing. Qualifying and being there to run, something entirely different. I had to requalify, back to the drawing board. Houston, this past month, January 2014, I didn't want to just qualify, I wanted to make a statement. I showed up to that race more confident than I had ever been, in better shape than I had ever been. And again, that pesky mile 23 reared its ugly head, and I walked. And this time, it was Jesse and my mom that encouraged me to the finish line, and they did a hell of a job because I got there in 3:02:38, beating the qualifying standard by a little under 2.5 minutes. So now we know the drill. We wait until September 2014. And guess what? The same situation presented itself as it did the year prior, where demand exceeded supply. But this time, I got in. I've had people ask me, how'd you qualify? How did you get in? What's the secret? And I guess I pose that question to you. Hearing my story, what would you think it is? Hard work, diligence, stubbornness, craziness? What's the secret? I'll tell you right now, there absolutely is no secret. None. The secret is consistency. That's all that it is. You see, we live in a world that reveres shortcuts, that loves things like 6-minute abs, get rich quick, lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. Life hacking has now become a popular trend. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate efficiency, but not nearly to the degree that I appreciate consistency. Author Malcolm Gladwell would refer to consistency as the 10,000-hour rule. Al Pacino in the movie Any Given Sunday would refer to consistency as inch by inch. I like to think of it, while not as catchy, as total volume over time, or rather, consistency over time. As we approach the new year, I want you to keep this concept top of mind. As we begin setting goals for 2015, I want you to let this truly sink into your heart. It's not the individual occurrences of effort that truly matter. It's all of these things added up over the course of time that truly makes the difference. Here's the deal. Eating one healthy meal doesn't make you a healthier person. Just like one run didn't qualify me for Boston. One speech in Toastmasters isn't going to make me a better public speaker, but persistent and consistent practice over the course of time will. There was nothing special about me qualifying for Boston. Nothing special at all. Was it hill repeats? Yes. Was it strength training? Yes. Was it nutrition? Absolutely. Was it my loving family and my friends for all their support? 100%. But it was all those things that happened on a consistent basis that made the world of difference. All those runs added up over the course of time was what truly was the fundamental principle of success. It took me a long time to figure this out, and now that it's been 3 years since I set a goal on Boston and had to run 5 marathons in order to get there, it finally occurred to me that while the individual runs, the individual hours, the individual inches certainly matter, the way that they add up over the course of time makes the world of difference in driving success. Mr. Toastmaster.